This is Piers Morgan Tonight. Joining me now are some Hollywood folks who know all about addiction. Mackenzie Phillips, the author of High on Arrival, actor Daniel Baldwin, and Howard Samuels, the founder and CEO of the Hills Treatment Center. He's also a clinical psychologist and a recovering addict himself. Before we begin, let's take a clip from Charlie Sheen's latest Ustream show, Sheen's Corner.
Now that I have your lazy attention, world, sit back and rejoice. For the Malibu Messiah, the Condor of Calabasas, the warlock of your jealous face sits before you. Undigested hummus trading real estate for this fire dance.
Charlie Sheen is not just some degenerate guy we've picked off the street.
Of course he
Let's
isn't.
remind ourselves what we're dealing with here. He is currently, until last week, the highest paid...
No,
Wait.
he's an addict. Who gives a crap about how much he's
understand.
paid or how famous he is?
Let me just make the point, though. There are two strands to the Charlie Sheen story. He is an addict, according to you. He denies that, but I can see that the evidence is pretty compelling. He might be. But he also is a hugely successful actor, at the top of his game.
Not anymore. He's not at the top of his game.
Until he was fired. But there are two sides to the Charlie Sheen story. He's a legitimate news story, certainly a legitimate guy to be interviewing.
Right, but if we sort of reframe the way we're looking at him, instead of as a legitimate news story, as a cautionary tale. People are dying on the streets on a daily basis, all over this country, all over the world. And Charlie is basically saying, I cured myself with my mind. You know, that doesn't happen. Ask Dr. Samuels. Let
me do just that. I mean, when you hear him talk like that, what are you seeing? The classic signs of an addict, in your view?
Oh, without question. I mean, what people don't seem to understand is that crack cocaine is probably the most potent drug there is known to mankind when you smoke it. It fries the brain. Now, Charlie has been smoking this drug for a long time, and even he had talked about...
Slamming 7-gram rocks.
Exactly, in the pipe. Now, I've treated a lot of hardcore crack addicts. It becomes cocaine psychosis. Okay? They become delusional, they become grandiose, they become entitled, they become just like Charlie Sheen.
Let me take you up on that again. You're making a claim about him being a crack cocaine addict. You're making claims about a series of beatings of women, which he disputes. He disputes both those things. His friend Daniel obviously knows him very well and is very worried about what's going to happen to him. The flip side of this, and I come back to his position as a top actor and so on, Charlie Sheen says, look, how I lead my life is my concern. And by the way, he said, there are lots of more important things going on in the world. There's Libya, there's Egypt.
But look at the message that we're giving to the young people out there who are considering, do I have a problem? Am I on the edge? What we're doing is we're taking it to the next level, saying it's okay to be this way because you are the highest paid actor on television.
And being the face of CBS, which is, you know, supposed to be a family, you know, network, and the family is out there, and he's working with a 9 or 10, 11-year-old boy. So he comes into the set, he's off a crack run, he's been with a few hookers the night before. What do you think he's talking about with 11-year-old?
Well, look, he's certainly...
No, I have to take issue with you there. I mean, I really do.
But Mackenzie, I mean, look, he's not the first guy that's partied too much in Hollywood.
Look, I got fired from one day at a time for partying too much.
Let me bring Daniel back into this. Daniel, you've heard what we've been debating. Obviously, passion's running high here.
I did, and let me just say two things. Number one, if it looks like a horse and it has black and white stripes, anybody on the planet's going to go, hey, that's a zebra. This is a zebra. You're not wrong in your speculation. No one here that's watching this awful car about to crash is out of line by speculating it's going to crash and it's on fire. This is a zebra. So make no mistake about it. Forget about all the stories and claims from publicists and representation and lawyers. He's in trouble right now. Period.
If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Let me ask Daniel and Mackenzie. You both have been in this position. You've both been the zebra. What was it? Daniel, let me start with you. What was it that finally snapped you back into normal life again?
I don't think I had ever been afraid of the drug itself before. And I can recall in the last few times that I have been using cocaine, and as the doctor just explained, I was smoking cocaine, which is the most highly addictive. And I can remember having to look at my watch and wait in between times that I could light up again because my heart was palpitating so hard, I was afraid I was going to have a heart attack. So I literally watch my watch and go, okay, I think it's slowed down enough that I can do another one. So I had never looked at my mortality versus overdosing type of thing. And at the end, it was that bad. You know, I was getting the numbness down my left arm.
For you, was it... Mackenzie, for you, was it getting fired from the show that finally...
No, my God, no. That happened 25 years ago. I like Daniel, and hi, bro, we're family. Daniel's brother Billy is married to my sister China, so love you. I was shooting heroin and cocaine, speedballs in my room as a 49-year-old woman, and I remember thinking, is this the one that's going to kill me? I got up and I was going to New York to appear on the Rachel Ray Show for a reunion of One Day at a Time. Thank God for the LAPD. They busted my ass at LAX trying to go through security with 3 grams of heroin and 2 grams of cocaine in my pocket. And I, right now, just want to say, y'all saved my life. You know, I mean, an addict will not change unless their back is up against the wall.
What we're hearing, it's a fascinating debate because until now, I totally accept news organisations, including this show. We've allowed Charlie to have a platform and perhaps have not been as censorious of him as perhaps we ought to have been. We've now heard from 2 high-profile former addicts saying, this is real, this is dangerous, this guy is going to die. Charlie would probably be watching that, disputing it, but then denial is a key part of what goes on here. From your point of view as an expert in addiction, what's the move now? Does somebody have to go in and save Charlie Sheen, or does he have to save himself?
I think it's got to be a combination of both. I think it's got to be a combination of everyone that really loves Charlie Sheen to do some type of major intervention. I'm sure there's already been interventions done in the last number of weeks and months, but you can't give up. You've got to continue fighting for your family member. I mean, the only reason I'm sitting here is because my family did an intervention on me 26 years ago and saved my life, even though I didn't want to get sober. Charlie Sheen doesn't want to get sober yet. So it's a combination of the intervention, but then the only thing that creates the psychic shift, because we're talking about a psychic shift that has to occur, that Daniel had, Mackenzie had, and that I've had, is intense personal pain. That is the only thing that creates the shift. Now, how do you create that pain? You get fired from your job. Thank God CBS did that, finally.
But it seems to be not having a lot of effect on Charlie.
Well, not yet.
They hit Charlie in his pocket. And I hope the reason that we haven't heard from Martin Sheen in a week and a half is because he's planning a conservatorship. Hit him in the pocket.
Daniel, let me end with you, where we started, really. You're a close friend of his. You've been through this. You're clearly very fired up about what you see is happening to your friend. You've put your life back together. You've lost a lot of weight recently. You look in great shape. Do you worry every day yourself about a relapse? I mean, if Charlie is to go down this road, how difficult is it?
It won't be easy for him, as the doctor just mentioned, you know, at the level he's at now. I don't think he even wants any help. One of the most telltale things that came, and I watched the interview, it was actually, I thought you did a great job with it, because when someone's in that stage of denial, you can't push them that hard. You just let him do his thing, and I think that was smart of you. And I will tell you that one of the things that came out that was most shocking to me is not a single member of that cast through this awful situation has reached out to him. Now, you asked Mackenzie, who was on that show when she had trouble, if those people didn't reach out to her. When I was on television, and this was I was going through this, other cast members on Homicide and different people that I knew in the business reaching out to me. None of them called Charlie. You know why? Because they're so sick and tired of his crap and his denial that he has a problem that they've given up. They're just tired of it. And that's unfortunate.
As long as there is still breath in the lungs, there's no reason to give up hope. Right. Am I right, Dr. Samuels?
Absolutely. That's why intervention after intervention, in order to wear him down, isolate him, and get a little love in there and let him know that people really love this guy before you die.
Well, look, I'm very grateful to all 3 of you for coming in. It's been a very important contribution to this debate. The Charlie Sheen saga continues unabated. I hope we come back in a few weeks and hopefully Charlie's sorted himself out and is back on the path that you guys have taken. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Piers.